Welcome back to Whiskey Happens. I'm Garrett,
I'm Travis.
and tonight we are talking about Russell's Reserve Batch 2, the non-limited release return.
The return of.
Yeah, the return of this product. Travis, I know you're excited. I can't believe we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah,
For whatever reason.
I think we've talked about it in other episodes, like talked about Russell's 13 last year dropping, and we talked about the release this year. But I don't think either one of us really thought we'd get a bottle because we're both in states where it's much harder to get it unless you like really have an in.
I will say here things have changed and a lot of your system seems to be working since last year. But I think I was out of town when Russell's dropped here. I know I was out of town when Russell's dropped here. The thing I did notice about the return of this product is last year the MSRP was around $70, and I assume they brought it back because of the fanfare at now staggering $100.
Yeah. And I was gonna get into that later in the episode about asking you about if you'd pay that, and maybe we'll still get into it then. For me, I had last year's batch. I really liked last year's batch. This batch is good. I don't know if it's as good as last year's, in my opinion. But that also could be the fact that it was so hyped up last year. So,
yeah, and actually just occurred to me, I have no clue if there is a difference in mash bills or not. Actually, I have no clue what the mash bill is. So there's that.
Yeah. But coming out of Wild Turkey, Russell's Reserve has put out some really good products. I mean, their 10-year is still one of my favorite. Jimmy and Eddie Russell are just doing amazing stuff there outside of Wild Turkey. And Wild Turkey, we both talked about it. You love Wild Turkey. I like Wild Turkey products. But out of those, I would say Russell's is one of my favorite. The 10-year is amazing. So
I saw this back, I don't know when this dropped this year, people comparing the 13 to 10-year. And in most instances, the 10-year edges out the 13. I haven't bought a bottle of myself. First of all, I don't know why I haven't bought a bottle of it. Also, I realized right before this, I've never had a Russell single barrel.
Oh, okay.
Never. I again, no particular reason why not, or a store pick even. It just never has happened.
I had a store pick, loved it, drank the whole bottle. And that's what got me into, I got the store pick. It was from, I think it was Total Wine. Mm-hmm. And it was a great bottle, great private select of Russell's. I do have the 10. I brought it out. It's a new bottle. I was going to test them against each other because I hadn't really done that. But just like you said, I had heard the same thing. A lot of people are comparing it. I think I would prefer the 10 over the 13 most times because the 10's readily available. The 10 also is a cheaper price point, and it depends on what you like. If you like, to me, and I want your take on this as well, to me, the 13's oakier. It's a bit more.
I'm going to stop you right there. Why don't we get into review and then we'll do that part.
Okay, sure, why not? I know it so well now because I've been drinking on it just like you have. So
yeah, let's get to the meat.
I'm glad you stopped me. Thank you.
Oh, it's I would say the bottle's been open about 3 weeks now, and there's definitely a vanilla note I wasn't getting the first time around, for sure.
Yeah, I get caramel apple, a light hint of tobacco,
chocolate,
a little bit of chocolate. Yep, a little bit of chocolate right there. Might get a little licorice. Maybe that's the chocolate I'm getting, that kind of chocolate licorice.
Yeah, I can see the anise. I almost want to say medicinal honey, like a cough drop.
Okay, I can see that as well.
The vanilla is what stands out the most. Of like, I didn't catch that the first time around.
Well, and the thing is this is coming in at almost 115 proof.
Yeah.
So in comparison to the 10-year that comes in at 90, very different. So, but let's get into the taste.
Yeah, right there with you. Immediately. It's very sweet.
Interesting.
Cherry notes, dried fruit.
Yeah, you get sweet. I get more like a scotchy note to it. It's more peaty and like earthy, like for me. And like you said, each one can be slightly different. I mean, they're all going to taste a little bit different to each person. So, but yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Did you just defend your note before I said anything about it?
No, maybe. I don't know.
I wouldn't say peaty. I would say, what's that thing that people enjoy that I hate? S'mores.
Oh, I was going to say chocolate. There's a lot of things.
Yeah, I think it encompasses everything.
Cooked tomatoes. I mean, the list goes on. I've learned a lot over the years.
No, I mean like it's raw tomatoes. Thank you.
Raw.
But when you started saying peat, I was thinking campfire and like not peat, but there's a charred note.
Yeah.
And then like complement with the sweetness that I just came graham cracker full circle with it. Or I mean, what's the thing called? I can't think of the s'mores. Yeah, I don't eat them. That's what I'm struggling.
I mean, like I said, I like it. I would still at MSRP pay for it. I would still buy it at MSRP all day long and make sure I always had a bottle. Would I pay a lot for it like some other things that we've talked about in the past where I'm like, oh, I'd pay more for that just to get that bottle? I don't know. Not 100% yet on it. So we'll see. The jury's out. How about you?
I'm fine with the $100 price point. I do think that this is something that is different. I don't know if it's unique enough for I've seen it upwards $850 secondary. This time last year, it's $1,400 secondary.
Yep.
It's not worth that. It's just not. However, if it's your unicorn, you spend what you spend. I'm not gonna say don't spend secondary on it.
Yeah.
However, let's see your little comparison here.
Yeah. So for the 10-year, you're going to get the same type of, to me on the nose, I get similar to the 13. Like I said, the difference in price point is the 10 is right around $65. But
is it really?
Taste. Yeah, but the taste is what is for me. It's the taste. And maybe it's because it's proof down. It's 90 proof, like I said. The taste, it's sweeter. It's more approachable. I really like the 10-year, but I'm biased. I've come to realize that 10-year is that sweet spot for me for most bourbon. I think most bourbon is really amazing at that 10-year mark. No, I was just going to say, but yeah, I mean, for me, age statement doesn't always make the bourbon, but I definitely think if you go back and you start looking at some of the 10-year bourbons that are out there, to me, 10 years is that sweet spot.
Let's get down to the ranking.
Okay.
How are you going at this? Neat, rocks, Coke?
I would put it on the rocks. I really love it. I think it's hyped up for a reason. I don't think it's bad, but I wouldn't pay over retail for it. How about you?
I think I'm going neat on this one.
Okay.
Definitely if I'm babysitting. Maybe if I was like on the lawn, throwing on some rocks. But just sitting home watching the kids, neat all day.
Yeah.
I think that in terms of your secondary ask, I don't know if I would pay secondary for it other than to get it as a gift for somebody. Like if this was a friend's unicorn and they absolutely needed it, wanted it, or I wanted to celebrate a moment with them, sure, I would put this in the celebratory spirit aisle. Not 850, but within range.
I don't like him that much, but he's a friend. Like he's a $200 friend. He's not an $800 friend.
No,
No,
not even
I
the
see,
same thing.
I see,
Yeah,
I see that. I mean, it's like I said, it's one of those things that I think everyone wants to own. And I think it's great if you can own it because it is a good bottle and it's a conversation piece. It's something that when people come over, you can break it out and have a really good pour with somebody. Is it my everyday pour? No, but it's definitely one of those special pours. So
yeah, I'm right there with you. I do think that if they continue to keep it as an annual release, then hopefully, the secondary continues to trend down. And we're almost 50% lower than it was last year when it was one time only.
yeah,
And as these drops keep coming, hopefully we'll finagle it better.
that's true.
Anyway, doesn't matter if you like it neat, on the rocks, or in a Coke. Whiskey happens.
Cheers.